Discussions in D2L are fairly easy. The thing about them, though, is that you have to make sure that you know when they're happening and that you participate early and often, because they are a participation grade. And if you miss them, you can't really make them up by talking to yourself in the discussion later. So make sure if your course has discussions that you are actively involved with them. So as we scroll down, you can see that there is a forum called Online Tools and a forum for the Unit 1 discussions. And inside of each of those forums, there is one or more discussions. So right here, we have one discussion on training. And then under the Unit 1 discussions, we have two different discussions. One where you introduce yourself as a student, and one where you respond to something you might have studied in Unit 1 called the Fair Use Act. So just go with me. This is a test course, and we don't really have a lot of threads and posts to work with. They're all fake. As you can see, Abe Lincoln just responded to the Fair Use Act. So just go with us on this. So as you can see, this unit, it doesn't have a blue line, and that just basically means that you've read everything in that unit. And because there's nothing in that unit, you basically have done all the work for it. So you would want to come in here, and based on the directions here, you want to create your own thread and reply to at least 2 of your classmates when they actually post in that discussion. But we're going to look at this unit right here because this unit has 2 different threads and it already has 3 different posts. And you can see with the blue number 3 that means that's how many I haven't read yet. This is also a discussion that will lock after a certain amount of time. So again, make sure you're participating early and often with these discussions. So in order to go in and read the discussions in the threads, we click on the name of the discussion. And then as we get in here, you can see there are 2 threads, one called Creative Commons by Abe Lincoln and one called Fair Use, Fair Assignments by Ronald Reagan. So both of these guys are responding to the discussion topic by creating their own thread. Now in that thread, they might have more replies. So that's why it's called a thread, because all of these different replies kind of trail off of them or thread off of them. So let's go into this Fair Use, Fair Assignments and see what that looks like. So as we get in here, Ronald Reagan said the Fair Use Act was created so that educators, etc., can use small chunks of intellectual property, yada, yada. So this is his actual response to the discussion prompt. And then as you can see, Abe Lincoln responded to him 9 minutes ago with a topic or a question related to what he said here. So if we wanted to reply to Ronald, we would click Reply to Thread here. If we wanted to reply to Abe's reply, then we can hit this reply button. So it's kind of weird because you're replying to Abe, who is replying to Ron, etc. But you can reply to any of those. And I've already got some reply content here. So this one is saying, do you think we should have to cite our sources? So if I wanted to reply to Abe, I would click Reply here. And I'm just going to copy my text. You would actually write your text. And I would paste it in here. And the original text for that discussion is included. You can change that so it doesn't automatically do that, or you can just delete it, or you can leave it. I like to delete it just to keep it clean. So I'm going to review this. I can do a spell check. I can do a couple of things like I can hit bold right here to emphasize different words. If I wanted to, I can also insert a picture into the body of the document. So I can hit this picture button and I can grab a picture from my computer, upload it here, and then post it into the discussion. But for now, we'll just go ahead and leave it as is and then hit post. Oh, one more thing, you can also add an attachment. If for some reason you had a file you wanted to give to people, then you can add it here and they can download it as they read your reply. So now you can see the kind of hierarchy. You can see that we see the original response, then you see the reply, and then you see my reply to his reply. So you can see that there's a little bit of indentation. So that's where we get the name thread. But each of these are considered their own post in this thread. Okay, so if you want to change some of your view settings, as you can see right now, it's showing the threaded. If you wanted to see the newest first, you could. The problem with this is that it's hard to see I was responding to Abe, but now because it looks like it's above Abe, it looks like this is a response to this. So I don't really like the unthreaded view, but just so you know, you can sort them in different ways as well. You can also come up here to settings and you can change, you can always show the discussion list pane, and you can always include the original post in the reply if you want to. So I actually don't like that, and I'm going to show the discussion list pane just to see how that goes. So I'll save that. And when I get back into that discussion, let's see what happened. So now you can see that I have all these discussions. I have Unit 1 discussions here, and it shows me the number of things I haven't read with that, so that's pretty helpful. Now, you can see that this doesn't have blue because I've read everything in that thread, and this has blue because I haven't read this yet, and that's okay. But in order to respond to this topic post, because the rules are I have to actually reply to 2 of my classmates, but I also have to create my own new thread responding to the topic here. So I'll click Start a New Thread, and I've just typed something over here just to make our lives easier, and I'm going to put in here everything is a remix. Okay, so this is a really cool video series about the Fair Use Act, and it's really helpful when you're creating a discussion that if you're linking to something that you actually make this an active link. So I'm going to highlight the words that when they click, it's going to take them to that website. And what I want to do is go to the actual website and copy this URL, and then when I highlight it here, click this link button to choose a URL and paste that full thing in there because it needs the full thing. So don't leave this up to your typing. Just go and copy it from the website and paste it in here. So I want to open it as a new window, and I'll click Insert. And now this is an actual hyperlink that they can click. So go ahead and hit Post. And there my thread is showing up with the other people in this class. I don't have any replies yet, and it's always a good idea, even if you're supposed to reply to at least 2 classmates, if anybody replies to your thread, you should probably reply to them each individually as well, just because that's polite. If somebody talks to you, you have to actually say something back to them. So that's the basics of working with discussions and changing some of your discussion settings. Just play with it, test it out. It's not going to hurt anything. If I wanted to delete something I created, I can drop down. Ooh, actually, not true. You can edit it, but you can't delete it. So now you got to be careful. But you can edit anything in here. So if you make a mistake in here, you can come in and delete it and just type what you actually wanted to say in there.